The prequel trilogy is about the rise of evil and how democracies die in the face of rising authoritarianism. The original trilogy is about keeping hope in the face of outright evil, and how that hope can help you overcome any obstacle, including a Nazi-like government. The third is about what happens when you change your business model to appease a government that runs concentration camps.
The new Star Wars film, The Force Awakens, won't open in Chinese movie theaters like this one until January 9th. But the film is already being marketed here in a big way. Disney even placed 500 stormtrooper figurines onto the Great Wall of China to promote the movie trailer's premiere. But not all the attention has been positive. Some Star Wars fans were quick to point out some differences between the U.S. version and Chinese version of the official movie poster. In the U.S. version, on the left, black actor John Boyega, who plays a character called Finn, is a featured presence. On the Chinese side, on the right, he is shrunken down towards the bottom of the poster and replaced by TIE fighters. Meanwhile, other characters appear larger.
Pre-COVID, China was well on its way to becoming the #1 movie market in the world, which means the Chinese government would replace the Motion Picture Association of America as the premier agency screening films in the world's #1 market. That puts Disney in a terrible position, because like a true simp, Disney would buy the Chinese government's used bathwater while Chinese audiences don't give a shit about Star Wars.
The Star Wars film franchise has been a hit worldwide for a generation, but it looks like the power of the Force doesn't reach into one of the world's most important movie markets.
The latest release, The Last Jedi, has tanked in China and was pulled from theaters after just 2 weeks.
Like Paul Blart 3 would do better in China than Star Wars, which puts Disney in a terrible position. Not to mention they've got billions of dollars in assets the Chinese government can seize at any moment. So yes, Disney is desperate to sell in China. So desperate they thank concentration camp officials and even remove black characters from posters. Yes, China is now the world's second biggest theatrical market, but this assumption that China is racist towards black actors has given Hollywood a rationale to largely avoid releasing films with black protagonists there. It has also led to egregious acts of decolorization in how Hollywood films are marketed, including Lucasfilm's decision to minimize John Boyega's face in Chinese posters for Star Wars: The Force Awakens. I mean, that's some 1960s shit. Debate whether you think Chinese or American audiences have a problem with race. But the fact that Disney does this in response to fears that they do is racist as shit, just on another level. It's like how Stephen Miller goes home every night and cuts the black people out of Ebony magazine. It's one of his love languages. He finds it relaxing. And this is something John Boyega has had to face in China before. The perfumer Joe Malone removed Boyega from an international ad he wrote and directed about his life, replacing him with a Chinese actor.
John Boyega has stepped down as Joe Malone's global ambassador. The actor has cut ties with the perfume brand after he was cut out of an advert in China and replaced by Liu Huran after the ad was recast and reshot despite conceiving, directing and starring in the original commercial.
I mean, that's crazy. That doesn't even make sense. It's about his life growing up as a West African actor in London. I mean, not only has Boyega faced this personally, Disney themselves has done this before. Yes, Disney themselves has recently committed apartheid-like censorship to satisfy the Chinese government. Marvel's Doctor Strange featured the white British actress Tilda Swinton playing a Tibetan character because the film screenwriter C. Robert Cargill felt that would be less controversial than casting somebody who looked ethnically Chinese or Tibetan. Cargill went on. If you acknowledge that Tibet is a place, he said, you risk alienating 1 billion people. Yeah, Avengers, avenge everybody but the peace-loving Buddhists. Can't wait for the next installment. See them next summer in Avengers 4. Fuck you, Dalai Lama. Also starring Matt Damon as the Dalai Lama because it can't be played by an ethnic Tibetan. Disney cast a white person in a Tibetan role because they didn't want to upset the Chinese government. Some fans think that this whitewashing by Disney extended to the overall diminishing of John Boyega's character, as Disney was desperate to break into a Chinese market Hollywood felt was tepid towards black characters. I mean, they removed John Boyega from film posters in China, and magically his character Finn's role, starting with The Last Jedi, was reduced to, in Boyega's own words, fuck all. Completely contrary to how the character was pitched and set up. This was the first marketing image you ever saw a fucking Force-sensitive Jedi. I mean, it's clear that J.J. Abrams planned on Boyega not only being a Jedi, but central to the main plot. And his character Finn was marketed as that outside of China. And then starting with Last Jedi, nothing. Boyega, to his credit, wasn't quiet about it. In September, Boyega told GQ, "You get yourself involved in projects and you're not necessarily going to like everything. But what I would say to Disney is do not bring out a black character, market them to be much more important in the franchise than they are, and then have them pushed to the side. It's not good. I'll say it straight up." Boyega went on to say, "You know what to do with these other people, but when it came to Kelly Marie Tran, when it came to John Boyega, you know fuck all. So what do you want me to say? What they want me to say is I enjoyed being a part of it. It was a great experience. No. I'll take that deal when it's a great experience. They gave all the nuance to Adam Driver, all the nuance to Daisy Ridley. Let's be honest. Daisy knows this. Adam knows this. Everybody knows I'm not exposing anything. Either way, whether it was the choices Disney made pandering to certain markets or just story choices Rian Johnson made in The Last Jedi, the only black lead was suddenly discarded in the background. That movie is racist as shit, and yet its supporters praise it as promoting equality because, get this, in The Last Jedi, anybody can be a Jedi. Yeah, except for the black guy. Which also, by the way, no shit, anybody can be a Jedi. It's one of the dumbest points people make defending that movie. Have you seen any of the other ones? They literally have a ballsack Jedi. That's not even a pun. His entire forehead is made of testicle and it's a big forehead. Yeah, the prequels taught people forehead foreskin is a thing. I mean, look at it. Damn, girl got a 5-head just like Tyra. Coincidentally enough, 5-head Tyra is also a Jedi. That's how much everybody knows that anybody can be a Jedi. But you actually had to have, liked the movies before to know that. You know what? Last Jedi does tell the story of modern equality. The good parts of history get tossed out with the bad. The black guy gets screwed and the white woman wins in the end. Yeah, instead of becoming a Jedi, he and the only other minority character get arrested for a parking ticket outside of a casino. That's actually what happened in the movie. I guess black lives don't matter on Canto either. It's one of the most racist blockbuster movies in recent history, not for what happens on screen, but for what happened off screen. The narrative equivalent of removing Boyega from a movie poster. Boyega himself points to Last Jedi as where shit went off the rails.
The Force Awakens, I think, was the beginning of something quite solid. The Last Jedi, if I'm being honest, I'd say that was feeling a bit iffy for me. I didn't necessarily agree with a lot of choices in it, and that's something I spoke to Mark Hamill about a lot. It was hard for all of us.